Hello, today I will read Exodus chapter 16. In chapter 15, at the last text, it was about that God started again to test the Israelites and to form them. Now let's see why that is. Because God wants to change their hearts, their attitude, and that is a thing to work on. Now let's read chapter 16. The whole Israelite community set out from Elim and came to the desert of Sin, which is between Elim and Sinai, on the 15th day of the second month after they had come out of Egypt. In the desert the whole community grumbled against Moses and Aaron. The Israelites said to them, "If only we had died by the Lord's hand in Egypt. There we sat around pots of meat and ate all the food we wanted. But you have brought us into this desert to starve this entire assembly to death." Whoa. Such words, God even escaped them with so much miracles, and they had the conclusion that it was better in Egypt when they were slaves, because they still had something to eat. Then the Lord said to Moses, "I will rain down bread from heaven for you." God is still calm. The people are to go out each day and gather enough for that day. In this way I will test them and see whether they will follow my instructions. On the sixth day they are to prepare what they bring in, and that is to be twice as much as they gather on the other days. So Moses and Aaron said to all the Israelites, "In the evening you will know that it was the Lord who brought you out of Egypt. And in the morning you will see the glory of the Lord, because he has heard your grumbling against him. Who are we that you should grumble against us?" Moses also said, "You will know that it was the Lord when he gives you meat to eat in the evening and all the bread you want in the morning, because he has heard your grumbling against him. Who are we? You are not grumbling against us, but against the Lord." Then Moses told Aaron, "Say to the entire Israelite community, 'Come before the Lord, for he has heard your grumbling.'" While Aaron was speaking to the whole Israelite community, they looked toward the desert. And there was the glory of the Lord appearing in the cloud. The Lord said to Moses, "I have heard the grumbling of the Israelites. Tell them, at twilight you will eat meat, and in the morning you will be filled with bread. Then you will know that I am the Lord your God." That evening quail came and covered the camp, and in the morning there was a layer of dew around the camp. When the dew was gone, thin flakes like frost on the ground appeared on the desert floor. When the Israelites saw it, they said to each other, "What is it?" For they did not know what it was. Moses said to them, "It is the bread the Lord has given you to eat. This is what the Lord has commanded. Each one is to gather as much as he needs. Take an omer for each person you have in your tent." The Israelites did as they were told. Wow, and isn't it here a miracle? I didn't stop. It is a very wow thing. I mean, the Israelites, they were grumbling, but God was calm and He helped them. The Israelites did as they were told. Some gathered much, some little. And when they measured it by the omer, he who gathered much did not have too much, and he who gathered little did not have too little. Each one gathered as much as he needed. Well, then Moses said to them, "No one is to keep any of it until morning." However, some of them paid no attention to Moses. They kept part of it until morning, but it was full of maggots and began to smell. So Moses was angry with them. Each morning everyone gathered as much as he needed, and when the sun grew hot, it melted away. Yeah, but it could be. I mean, if God is saying, but you test it. What if? So Moses was angry with them. Yeah, but to believe in God without questioning, is it okay that? Yeah, sometimes you must in some things that you even don't understand them, but look at this. Each morning everyone gathered as much as he needed, and when the sun grew hot, it melted away. On the sixth day, they gathered twice as much. Also, it melted away on the sun. Very interesting. 2 omers for each person, and the leaders of the community came and reported this to Moses. He said to them, "This is what the Lord commanded. Tomorrow is to be a day of rest, a holy Sabbath. I don't know why some people say Shabbat. But here I say, maybe original text, I don't know. But Sabbath here in. To use the Lord. No, a holy Sabbath to the Lord. So bake what you want to bake and boil what you want to boil. Save whatever is left and keep it until morning." So they saved it until morning, as Moses commanded, and it did not stink or get maggots in it. "Eat it today," Moses said, "because today is a Sabbath to the Lord. You will not find any of it on the ground today. 6 days you are to gather it, but on the 7th day, the Sabbath, there will not be any." Nevertheless, some of the people went out on the 7th day to gather it, but they found none. Then the Lord said to Moses, "How long will you refuse to keep my commands and my instructions? Be reminded that the Lord has given you the Sabbath. That is why on the 6th day He gives you bread for 2 days. Everyone is to stay where he is on the 7th day. No one is to go out." So the people rested on the 7th day. But is it sometimes if you test God always, is it okay with you? Are you okay with, you just want to, what do you want to do? Yeah, you're curious if what is happened, what if not? Sometimes it's not very okay to test God so much, or I even don't know. But yeah, here it was something new. But yeah. And it did not stink or get maggots in it. Oh, so very interesting. But in the because in the Sabbath it did not stink or get maggots in it. The that thing. Um, but they found out. Then the Lord said to Moses, "How long will you refuse to keep my commands and my instructions?" So Lord said to Moses that, "Be reminded that the Lord has given you the Sabbath. That is why on the sixth day He gives you bread for 2 days. Everyone is to stay where he is on the seventh day. No one is to go out." So the people rested on the seventh day. The people of Israel called the bread manna. It was white like coriander seed and tasted like wafers made with honey. Moses said, "This is what the Lord has commanded. Take an omer of manna and keep it for the generations to come, so they can see the bread I gave you to eat in the desert when I brought you out of Egypt." So Moses said to Aaron, "Take a jar and put an omer of manna in it. Then place it before the Lord to be kept for the generations to come." As the Lord commanded Moses, Aaron put the manna in front of the testimony. Yeah, so that thing was called manna. That it might be kept. The Israelites ate manna 40 years. Whoa. God made miracles. I mean, God was with them. They saw day and night. During the day, they saw like a pillar of cloud, and in the night like a pillar of fire. It was a very interesting image. And they started to eat manna. That thing that it is very interesting that they didn't see anything like that before. And not just them, neither their fathers. "40 years, wow, 40 years to see that God is with you, that you live with God and you live in the dependence of God, dependence. You can't even survive in the desert without God, without manna that God gives you, without that pillar of clouds during the day and pillar of fire during the night to protect them." And very interesting, because God was like in a physical image in front of them. Yeah, not God himself, but not his face or he as he is, but in a shape of that thing, that pillar. Until they came to a land that was settled. They ate manna until they reached the border of Canaan. An omer is 1/10 of an ephah. What we can learn about this chapter is, because God was trying to test them before a bit, but now look. trust in God that He is everything to you, and that He gives you everything you need. It is very nice. I started to travel to find God, and yeah, by walking and without any much money at me or much things, and I saw God every day, like here, that God was with me, that God protected me, and after my food or my money ran out, I saw that God was took care of me every day, and that God gave me power to continue, and so much, so much things. But even here, if your heart is not, if in your heart, not just your heart, I mean, if in your heart is a fighting between good and evil, and if the evil win, it is a very sad for you and for your life. Okay, may the God bless me and light me in the next chapter too, and if He wants, well, you will see me there too. I didn't talk much, but God even with the quail, that God was calm, but still, how long will be that? Will be acting like that? We will see. And is it okay to be always calm and to just help with good stuff, and not with some justice too or something? We will see. Okay, may the God bless you all too. Goodbye.